All right, so number 3 is going to be almost the same type as number 2. We have some 41-cent stamps, some 8-cent stamps, and we want to mail a gift card to a friend that costs $1.95. So I'm going to start with the more expensive stamp. I'm going to list the multiples. So if we use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we start with 0.41, multiply that by 2, give us 0.82, and times 3 will give us 123, and by 4 give us 164, and if we multiply that by 5, that would give us 205. And that would be too much. So I need to either do 4, 3, 2, or 1. And so I'm going to write down the formula: 0.41 times the expensive stamp, the number of expensive stamps, plus 0.08 times the number of cheaper stamps. We want that total to be 195. All right. So I'm going to start with the highest possible that I can use. I'm going to start with 64. So if I were to use 64, so I'm sorry, 4 of them, that would be $1.64. 0.08C equals 1.95. We're going to subtract 1.64 from both sides, and that will give us 0.08C. Those will go to 0. And that will leave me with 31. And I know 8 times 4 is 32, so there's nothing times 8 that will give me 31. So 4 may not be the ideal number, so let's go to the next largest number, which is 3. Give us 123. .41 times E, 0.08 times C equals 1.95. So if I was to use 3 of the more expensive stamps, so E equals 3 this time, that would cost 123 plus 0.08C equals 1.95. We're going to subtract 123 from both sides. Bring down to 0.08C. It's going to give us 0.72. Now 8 is a multiple of 0.72, so if I was to divide 0.08, 8 times 9, 0.08. 8 times 9 will give us 72. So that says C equals 9. All right, and of course you want to double check. So we get 3 of the more expensive 41-cent stamps, and we would use 9 of the cheaper stamp. Okay, so this is that box pattern. So this problem, again, is another guess and check problem. There's no like formula or straightforward way that you can calculate this. So the process that they use online, like if you want to try to figure out the box yourself, it tells you that you're going to place the numbers 1 through 9 in this magic square so that the sum of each row, each column, and the diagonal is the same as 15. So here's what they do if you want to kind of fill it in yourself and guess and check. And this is probably the best way. I don't always agree with the system, but this is probably the best way. So they have 2 numbers filled out for you already, 6 and 9. So what we do is we say, okay, everything has to equal 15. So if the total is 15, I already have 6. I'm going to take away 6, and that's going to leave me with 9. So these 2 cells have to add up to be 9. So out of the numbers 1 through 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You can't use a number more than once. 6 and 9 have already been used. And so we want to find other numbers that add to be 9 to make this total be 15. So that would be 1 plus 8. So I can use 1 and 8. I could use 2 and 7. I can't use 3 and 6, it's already done, but I can use 5 and 4. And then I would just pick one of these options, okay? And then I would add up, and then I would start filling in other columns. So if you look at all of these boxes, every single one of them have 1 8 in this row. So they give you some options. There are some problems that make you completely fill in the box yourself. These give you options so you can just kind of add and you can kind of figure it out here. Like if you look at answer choice A, this first one, this can't be right because we're only using numbers 1 through 9. This has a 10. So I would automatically get rid of this number, okay? And then if you looked and saw any other problems like a number used twice or you added and something didn't equal 15, then that would tip you off that something is wrong. So if I'm looking at all three of the remaining ones, the first row, 618, is all the same. The second row is where the difference comes in. So this one repeats the number 1. So I would get rid of that as well, process of elimination. So now I have two options. I have either, let's call this C, let's call this B, this is C, and this is D. So A, B, C, D. So I've gotten rid of this one because it uses a number we can't use. We're going to get rid of this one because it repeats a number. Usually you're going to use each number once. So now I have a 50-50 shot of picking the correct one. And again, you can just add them up and see which one equals 15. Or you can kind of, like I said, fill it in yourself. So every one of them has 1 8. So I know that that's one of the possibilities. So 1 and 8 are used. Now that that row is complete, I would probably go and try to figure out what needs to make this one 15. There's only one option. 1 plus 9 is 10, so you have to put a 5 here. Okay, so if I was to look at these other two options, this one has a 2 in the middle, so there's no way that that can equal 15. That means that this B would be my best choice. And so if I add this up, that gives me 15. 7 and 3 is 10, plus 5 is 15. 9 and 2 is 11, plus 4 is 15. If you add up the columns, 6 and 7 is 13, 14, 15. That was 15. 8 and 3 is 11, plus 4 is 15. If you add up the diagonal, 8, 2, and 5 is 15. Add up this diagonal, 6, 4, and 5 is 15. So everywhere this equals 15, that's what you want to do for this magic square.